Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Today, I want to talk about something that I know a lot of you are thinking about, but maybe not actually doing yet. And that is YouTube. I recently hosted a YouTube Masterclass for real estate professionals, and I wanted to share a few of the biggest takeaways because if YouTube has been on your to do list, this is definitely your sign to stop overthinking and just get started. So, as always on the podcast, one of the things we've been doing this year is we've been doing these sort of snippets kind of behind the scenes of our weekly Monday Coffee with Katie. If you are new here, every single Monday I do an in-depth 1 hour, sometimes hour and a half class where I go deep into a specific topic inside of our Get Social Smart Academy. So this week was all about YouTube. We had our in-depth YouTube Masterclass. It was 90 minutes with a detailed workbook. I rewrote the whole workbook from the ground up. It's about 28 pages. And so if you missed that, we'll put the link below. You could purchase the class separately. If you're part of our Get Social Smart Academy family, which is our monthly membership, you get access to that class and all of our weekly classes, plus our calendars and templates and all of the resources we have available. But what I'd love to do here on the podcast is give you a little sneak peek behind the scenes into this class. So we'll do a little sneak peek and share with you a little bit of what we talked about, especially when it comes to YouTube. As always, you're going to get really the most out of this material if you purchase the class. So we'll put those links below, but check that out. But let's dig in and start talking about YouTube. So one of the first things I talk about today is this, and the goal with YouTube is not to go viral, especially if you are a real estate professional. I know that maybe that's a little controversial to say, maybe with other creators, but especially in the real estate space, that's not the goal. The goal is to show up when people are searching because YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And now more than ever, your videos are showing up in Google search and AI, as we know. So when someone is searching moving to your city or best neighborhoods in your area, cost of living in your market, we want your content to show up. You want your content to show up. And the beauty of YouTube is your content doesn't disappear in 24 hours. It works for you over the course of time. We talked a lot about in class this idea of building a content library. It's incredible. I logged into my YouTube analytics live on the call, and one of my top performing videos still is a video I posted 3 years ago. And that video is still bringing in leads and business and views and engagement, which is just absolutely incredible. Another big takeaway is you don't need to do everything. In fact, you shouldn't. And if you followed me for any period of time, you know I'm a big believer in the fact that you don't have to do all the things. One of the biggest mistakes I see real estate agents make is that they try to do all the things, all the videos, all the platforms, and then they get overwhelmed and just stop. So instead, think about building YouTube like building a library. And this is something I talk a lot about inside the workbook. You're building this content library over the course of time. So instead of thinking about, okay, I have to create 50 videos for YouTube, start with 5. Start with a moving to your area video or a pros and cons video or a first-time home buyer video or a seller tips video, a local favorites video. This alone puts you ahead of so many agents. The next thing, and this is really huge for 2026, is that local and niche content wins, probably now more than ever. There has never been more information at your fingertips, right? On obviously YouTube, on ChatGPT, Google. So we don't want general content. We don't want the generic content. The type of leads that we're really seeing agents and brokers getting from real estate content, especially on YouTube, is specific content. So instead of moving to California, you want to get really specific. Moving to Pleasanton, California, what are the pros and cons? And I would even take that a step further and niche down into specific neighborhoods. We have one of our longtime members who's a member in Long Beach, and he has 17 different neighborhoods in the city of Long Beach. And so he is niching down into creating content around each of those neighborhoods. Now, I'm the first to say 17, that's a lot. I recommend, hey, start with 3 or 5, 3 to 5, and then you can always expand from there. But really leaning into your niche, I think is huge. Again, instead of best coffee shops, it's best coffee shops in downtown in your city. And the more specific you are, the more discoverable you become, and the more likely the right people find you. So let's talk about exactly what to post, because this is where people get stuck. Inside the workbook in the class, I break down really simple categories like buyers, sellers, community, moving, design. But here's what I want you to remember. You don't need an overly complicated content strategy. You need a mix of helpful content, local content, and personal content. And this is true for any platform, but especially YouTube. And by personal, I don't mean sharing your whole life, but I mean showing up as you, sharing your perspective, your experience, That's what builds trust. That's what builds trust in addition to, creating great content. Another big tip, especially with YouTube, is short form and long form really go together. Shorts are great for visibility. Those are under 3 minutes right now. If you're already creating reels for Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, it's really simple to also upload those over to YouTube. You can even use a tool like we use repurpose.io. That is a great tool if you want to upload once and then syndicate your content across multiple platforms. Long form content is really where most of your leads are going to come from, I find. I think shorts are great for visibility, but long form is really where people tend to, resonate and go, hey, I want more information. I like that person. They might watch one video and go, gosh, I want to watch more, and kind of binge watch your content. The cool part about putting out multiple videos that talks about different types of content is you can add related videos and related links. So if I was chatting during the class with Beth Bloom, who does a series of interviews. She's got these long form interviews. Well, she can take those and chop those up into shorts, and those shorts can have links back to that full video on YouTube. So it's kind of like you're creating this ecosystem. So that's exactly what I do. I use Descript, descript.com. I've talked about that here on the podcast. I've done a training on that. I'll link to that below, and it just makes the process so much easier. Another big thing, of course, with YouTube is consistency. You can't talk about YouTube and not talk about consistency. I've been on YouTube for more than a decade. This is where most people fall off. Consistency doesn't mean daily. It just means realistic. So inside the workbook, I share a very simple monthly system. Week 1 could be all about filming. Week 2, editing. Week 3, promoting. Week 4, repurposing. The idea here is get yourself into a simple system, something simple, repeatable, and doable. And then the last thing is you don't need fancy equipment. You don't even need a huge following. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start, because the agents who are winning with YouTube right now are not the ones doing it perfectly. They're the ones who are doing it consistently. In fact, at the end of the class, I went into 6 specific examples of realtors who I think are doing a really great job with YouTube. And the great part about this is there's not one size fits all. There's some folks who are investing a lot of money into videography for their high-end listings, but guess what? They're still showing up on their phone. They're still opening up the camera and sharing stories and sharing behind the scenes and having a mix of professional, high-end content and also just behind the scenes off the cuff. That is working extremely well. We see a lot of agents who are taking their YouTube content and then embedding it into their email newsletters and making sure they're sending it one-to-one or to their sphere. And so it doesn't just live on YouTube. With all the opportunities with YouTube to organize your content with playlists, there's just so many opportunities. So again, at the end of the day, the people who are succeeding, and by succeeding, I don't necessarily mean the most subscribers, the most views. I mean the people who are actually turning those videos into potential business. They're being consistent with it. They're generating engagement. They're generating leads. They're generating interest. And again, you got to be patient, right? So if this is something you've been thinking about, if YouTube has been on your list for a while, maybe you're listening and you've got a channel you've set up. If you have Google, you probably have a channel somewhere, or maybe you've got a channel and you feel like you need to dust it off. I go a lot deeper into all of this inside my YouTube Masterclass. I cover in depth what to post. We talk a lot about optimizing your videos with SEO strategies that actually work, along with AI optimization strategies, how you can use shorts and long form together, and then just a step-by-step plan that you can follow. You're also going to get a full workbook to map everything out. So you can grab the replay, or if you're part of the academy, again, it's already included for you. And if you're not yet part of the academy yet, this is exactly the type of training we do every single week. I will drop all those links below. As always, if you have questions, reach out, send me a DM. I'm at Katie Lance on Instagram and basically everywhere else, but would love to connect with you. All right, that's all I have for you today. If this was helpful, make sure you subscribe, share this with a friend, and let me know. Are you using YouTube? Is this something you're finally ready to start, or are you ready to take it to the next level? I would love to hear from you. All right, my friends, we'll see you soon. I'll see you on YouTube.